Again, hi everyone. Now that we have the recording on, thanks for joining. Thanks for taking the time on your busy schedule. This is the first workshop under the 𝗪𝗀 project. The 𝗪𝗀 itself, as an abbreviation, stands for Open Source Cyber Resilience Act Tools, and it's quite basically self-explanatory on the point, considering what it stands for. As an initiative, not only as an abbreviation, we are building open source platform, providing cloud platform, providing tools that companies, small and medium enterprises from across Europe and beyond, to be honest, but our focus, of course, are SMEs across the European Union, would be able to leverage in order to prepare for a few different scenarios around the Cyber Resilience Act, either in most of the cases to prepare for self-assessment, to assess their compliance, their conformity with the Cyber Resilience Act, or in certain cases when they work with conformity assessment bodies to basically enable them to prepare the core of the information that would be of use when these conformity assessments are being held. And actually, when I say that we are working to prepare SMEs for such assessments, I mean to prepare their products, because contrary to, for example, the NIS2 directive, where different entities are a subject of such I would say can be a subject of such audits, assessments. Here we are actually assessing the compliance of the products with digital components themselves to what the Cyber Resilience Act requests. Speaking about trainings, the first four, they already passed, but everyone who joins today's workshop or any of the ones to come in the following months will be able to have access to both the video recording from a previous session and the presentation collateral shared during the session. These materials are shared via Google Drive folder with the participants using your emails for this particular reason. We are not sharing any other, I would say, marketing project materials. So no spam will be coming on our end in the near or further future. But yes, we need your pre-subscription for the different sessions in order to have a way to communicate with you what happens after the session in terms of new materials coming, new topics for the different workshops. I'm not going to speak any more about the workshop subject today or in the following months. I will give the opportunity for Miroslav to present. Dr. 𝗪cie𝗰𝗂𝗀𝗀𝗀 is the co-founder and acting chairman of the Bulgarian AI cluster, Apologies, Bulgarian AI Institute, a research institute focusing on AI for public sector, AI for education, but not only, supporting SMEs uptake of AI technologies. More importantly even than that, despite the fact it's quite important by itself as a fact for Miroslav, he is the one who, as a lead auditor on multiple cybersecurity domains and under multiple cybersecurity regulations, is helping SMEs be compliant with the numerous requirements that are out there in the European Union, but not only. We have quite important standards across the United States, for example, the NIST framework. And I'm mentioning this because in the upcoming workshops, we will extend the subject. And the first trainings under the 𝗪cie project, financed, by the way, from the European Commission through the European Cybersecurity Competence Center and the Digital Europe program, we spoke strictly about the Cyber Resilience Act compliance framework, and what it means to SMEs. Now, on the workshops, what we are going to do is the following. We will be presenting to you the different functions of our 𝗪cie platform and how it enables your compliance, self-assessment, potentially assessment under the CRA, your company's products with digital technology, digital elements compliance, but also when we speak about the different subjects associated with this compliance, associated with what our tools are actually enabling you to achieve, we will be then broadening up the subject. As an example, we'll be speaking in one of the workshops and we'll be demonstrating the functionality of the 𝗪cie platform around vulnerability management at large, and in particular vulnerability tracking, assessment, and given the fact that we would be reviewing what the 𝗪cie platform provides for you in this particular domain of cybersecurity, we will then go to what the CRA requires, but also extend the information, extend the discussion beyond the European Union, so that you know how the local standards and compliance frameworks interconnect with the global broader initiatives that are out there for many years to come. This is the plan for the workshops. Again, we will be covering the main subjects that are related to your compliance, and in particular, the main subjects related to your compliance, your product's compliance, in the context of what the 𝗪cie platform provides as functionality. You will see, and before I give the floor to Miroslav, a few things from me. I just want to ask Miroslav to help me out. What exactly currently do you see in terms of screen sharing? Do you see a big Zoom browser tab, or you rather see the slides that I have prepared? So I'm not sure which screen I shared in particular. Miro, can you help me out with this feedback? Miro is muted.
You see the PDF only. I mean the PDF
yes.
but yeah, so
got
it's
it.
only
Got it. Got it.
My screen.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you very much, dear colleagues. Okay, that's good news. I'm not going to go into full screen mode, not to mess up the setup, but I just wanted to show this one slide because it on the right side of the screen, it shows you exactly what I was speaking about. It shows you which are the functionalities behind the 𝗪cie platform that you will be able to leverage when it comes to self-assessment of your products with digital components, elements, assessment in association with the CRA. We would be providing the following functionalities: checklist automation to start with. Upon registration in the platform, we'll be providing a software view of materials solution, so that you are able to generate SBOM of those products which are software, as the regulation also covers hardware in certain context. We'll be having, of course, a closer look at the vulnerability management, which I tried to explain is deeply interrelated to international standardization organization standards. So we are speaking about, I would say, global compliance over here, not strictly EU bonded. Then we are having incident response, risk management, configuration management functionalities, but these are subjects we are going to cover in the upcoming workshops. Today we will start with two things. We'll start with Documentation Hub. So we would be speaking about the functions associated to creating a centralized archive for compliance documentation and processes. That's quite basic, right? And some may say quite boring, but managing the documentation around conformity assessment, it doesn't matter under which compliance framework, or it can be even an internal audit related to assessing the conformity with the internal policies and procedures is of extreme importance. If you don't set up your documentation straight, it doesn't matter if we're speaking about an internal auditor or external one. It doesn't matter which compliance framework we are assessing our business or our product against, we would be having big issues, big problems. For those of you who have auditing experience, whether as professionals or in your business context, you have underwent one, two, or numerous audits per year, you know very well that the main effort is around documenting your compliance. So today, and we have the right lecturer to speak about it, Miroslav, as an auditor who is doing these assessments on a basically daily level. We have Yasen, who is also lead officer certified expert. We will be covering this particular topic. If we have time at the end of the session, again, to say goodbye to everyone and invite you to our next meeting and share a QR code for our document repository, so you know where you can find the materials. I will again take the floor to say a few words about awareness training. Because there are interesting developments on the CRA roadmap. We have, as of last week, something that was kicked off, and this something is the following website, a sub-website at cyberstand.eu called 𝗪C_Q. So the 𝗪C_Q is a new initiative. 𝗪C is part of this initiative, as you can see, but this initiative unites all the other EU-funded projects working on CRA compliance, tooling, guidance, and standardization enablement. So speaking of awareness, I will be saying a few more words if we have the time for the different particular projects beyond 𝗪C that are participating in the cluster. And I would be focusing your attention to one particular project which announced recently a funding opportunity. Most of the projects that you see on the screen are actually providing, such as ours, tooling solutions to enable your self-assessment or your conformity assessment against the internal conformity assessment body. But one of these projects is actually providing funding, so you can leverage this funding and prepare your products with digital elements for such assessments against the CRA, or make them more resilient. It doesn't matter if you need to undergo conformity assessment or self-assessment, or you don't need to go because you're not in the scope of the CRA. It's always good to be resilient, to prepare yourself to be more resilient. So one of these projects is providing funding actively. As a few days the procedure is announced, but I would stop here. I'm not going to share any more details and which particular project is providing this, because I want to keep your attention until the end of the session. With that, having said that, awareness we keep as a dessert, as a cherry on top of the cake. And now I give the floor to the master chef today, Dr. 𝗪cie_𝗵𝗪. The floor is yours to present the material that you have prepared for today's session.
Thank you, Christian. Hello for everyone, and welcome to today's workshop. I'm really glad to see you again, because the topic we are discussing today is not easy, but it's very important for everyone who works with digital products, digital services, or digital infrastructure in Europe. Cybersecurity regulation is changing fast, and many organizations feel pressure, confusion, and sometimes even fear. Let me say something very clearly at the beginning. Yes, the number of regulation is growing. Yes, sometimes it really feels like a labyrinth. But my role today is to help you the structure behind this complexity. I work with this regulation every day, and I'm confident that I can guide you through them in a clear and calm way. This workshop is the first of four workshops, which will take place from January to April, with the support and the collaboration of my colleagues 𝗪cie𝗿𝗀𝗀𝘀𝗵, Yas, and Tanef. Today we start with orientation. You can see some information about my work and background on this slide. I'm involved in many audit standards and cybersecurity projects, and I also teach topics like cybersecurity management system and zero trust architecture. I want to explain why this workshop exists and why it's happening exactly now. Cybersecurity in Europe has moved far beyond the IT department. It's now connected to business continuity, public trust, critical services, and even national security. That is why the European Commission has published several major legal acts in a very short time at the end of 2025 and the beginning of 2026. This workshop is designed to help you understand the logic behind these changes, not only what the rules say, but why they exist. On this slide, you can see several European regulation and legal acts. At first glance, this can look confusing. Many names, many dates, many acronyms. This is exactly the moment when people usually think this is too much. And I understand that feeling very well. But let me reassure you, we are not looking at a random document here. These regulations are connected, and today we'll talk through them step by step. First, you can see the digital omnibus. This is not a cybersecurity regulation in this classic sense. It's a simplification regulation. Its goal is to reduce overlaps, especially in reporting obligations. We will talk about how it affects incident reporting and why it's important for organizations that already struggle with multiple legal requirements. Next, on this slide, you can see Cyber Resilience Act and more specifically its delegated regulation and implementing regulation. These documents are focused on products with digital elements. They tell us how products should be designed, how vulnerability should be handled, how incidents should be reported, important or critical. We will spend quite some time on these rules because they are new and not always easy to interpret. You also see the Cybersecurity Act 2, published in beginning of January 2026. This regulation is about governance at the European level. It strengthens the role of ENISA, the European Union Agency for Cybersecurity. It also reshapes the European cybersecurity certification framework and introduces strong measures for ICT supply chain security. This regulation connects many of the other rules into one system. Some of you may also recognize links to NIS2 and DORA on this slide. This regulation focuses on organization and services, especially in critical sector and the financial sector. Even if they are not the main topic today, they are always in the background. The new regulations do not replace NIS2 or DORA, they complement them. So this slide is like a map. It shows us the main documents that shape the current European cybersecurity landscape. During this workshop, we will talk about each of them, not as a separate law, but as part of one story. Let's now move to the digital omnibus. Very technical, but it is extremely practical. For many years, organizations had to report the same cybersecurity incidents under different laws. For example, a ransomware attack could trigger reporting under NIS, GDPR, sector rules, and now also DORA or CRA. Imagine a medium-sized company that is already under stress because of an incident. Instead of focusing on recovery, people are writing multiple reports for different authorities. The digital omnibus tries to fix this problem. The idea is simple. One incident should follow one coordinated reporting logic. Authorities should cooperate, not compete for information. From my personal point of view, this is a very positive change because it shifts the focus from paperwork to real incident handling. Another new document is Cybersecurity Act 2, published in the beginning of January 2026. This regulation replaces the old Cybersecurity Act from 2019. The biggest change here is the role of ENISA. ENISA is not longer only an advisory agency that publishes reports. It becomes a central operational actor. ENISA will support member states, coordinate threat intelligence, manage certification schemes, and support cooperation during large incidents. This is important because cybersecurity threats do not stop at the national border. If each country works alone, the whole union is weaker. In my opinion, Cybersecurity Act 2 is about trust. Trust between countries, trust between authorities, and trust between citizens and digital services. Now we come to one of the most sensitive topics, ICT supply chain security. Cybersecurity Act 2 clearly states that cybersecurity risk is not only technical, it can also come from ownership, control, and political influence. This is why the regulation introduces the concept of high-risk suppliers. Let me give a simple example. Imagine a telecom operator that uses equipment from a supplier that is strongly influenced by a foreign government. Even if the technology works perfectly today, the risk is about control tomorrow. This is what the regulation addresses. This topic is uncomfortable, but it's realistic. From my in software, but forgot about the dependencies in supply chains. This regulation forces a more strategic way of thinking. Before I explain the details of Cyber Resilience Act delegated regulation, I want to take a short step back and remind you something important. This is not the first time we are talking about the Cyber Resilience Act. In fact, during the last 4 months in 2025, we already held 4 dedicated trainings focused entirely on the Cyber Resilience Act. In those sessions, we look at the act in detail, article by article, and discusses what it means for manufacturers, developers, and organizations that place products with digital elements on the European market. All 4 trainings were recorded and can be made available for review. So today we are building on knowledge that many of you already have. My goal here is not to repeat everything, but to connect what we already learned with the new delegated rules that now complete the picture. The delegated regulation focuses on a very specific but very important topic: how and when vulnerabilities and incidents should be reported under the Cyber Resilience Act. One of the key messages of this regulation is that cybersecurity is not black and white. Yes, transparency is required. Yes, incidents must be reported, but the regulation also recognizes that immediate disclosure is not always the safest choice. For example, during our previous CRA trainings, we discussed cases where a vulnerability is actively exploited, but no patch is available yet. If such information is shared too early, it can increase the risk for users instead of reducing it. The delegated regulation addresses exactly this situation. It allows, under strict and justified conditions, a delay in dissemination of certain information in order to protect users and give time for mitigation. This shows continuity of the European Union approach. The Cyber Resilience Act is not only about the formal obligation, it's about responsible security practices over the full life cycle of the product. The delegated regulation does not change the core logic of the act. For my personal point of view, this is a very good example of how regulation can evolve. We start with general framework, we discuss it, we train people, we identify practical challenges, and then the commission has more precise rules to address those challenges. This is exactly what we see here. So when we talk about this slide today, think of it as a communication of the work we already started in 2025. We're now adding another layer of clarity to something we already know, rather than learning a completely new system. Now we arrive in the CRA implementing regulation 2025-2392, which is a very technical but extremely important. The key concept here is core functionality. A product is classified not by everything it contains, but by what it mainly does. Let me give a simple example. Mobile app may include an embedded browser to display content. This does not make the app a browser, or a device may include a password manager as one feature, but that does not make it a password manager product. This rule protects manufacturer from overclassification and certification. In many opinion, this is one of the smartest part of the CRA framework, because it balances security and innovation. The regulation then defines important and critical products. Critical products include things like secure microcontrollers, smart cards, and secure elements. These are components that many other systems depend on. If they fail, the impact is very large. This is why they may require third-party conformity assessment at high assurance levels. Important products include operating systems, VPN, CM systems, routers, and identity management systems. These products are central to digital trust, even if they are not physical infrastructure. Now, let's talk about certification. Cybersecurity Act 2 strengthens the European cybersecurity certification framework and links it more closely with CRA and NIS2. Certification is not longer just a marketing advantage. It becomes a tool for compliance and simplification. For example, certified products may help organizations demonstrate compliance under multiple regulations at the same time. The use of common criteria and harmonized assurance levels reduces fragmentation between member states. This is especially important for small and medium-sized enterprises, which cannot afford multiple national certification. This is one of the most important slides in this presentation, even if at first it does not look very technical. Up to this point, we talked about the different regulations, the Cyber Resilience Act, the Cyber Security Act, the Digital Omnibus, and we also mentioned NIS2 and DORA. A very common question I hear is which one is more important, or which one should we focus on first? The honest answer is this: none of this regulation works alone. They are designed to work together like parts of one system. Each regulation looks at cybersecurity from different angles, but they all point in the same direction. For example, NIS2 focuses mainly on organization and services. It asks questions like how do you manage risk, how do you detect incident, how do you respond, and how do you ensure continuity of essential services. It's very much about governance and operational capability. DORA, on the other hand, look at the financial sector. It asks similar questions, but in a much more detailed and strict way, because financial systems are highly interconnected and very sensitive. DORA goes deeper into testing resilience and third-party risk, especially ICT providers. Then we have the Cyber Resilience Act, which shifts the focus from organization to products. It asks, is the product secure by design? How are vulnerabilities handled during the life cycle? How are updates managed? And how is information shared when something goes wrong? Cyber Resilience Act is about responsibility before and after a product is placed on the market. Cybersecurity Act 2 connects this at European level. It strengthens ENISA, supports coordination between member states, and reinforces certification in supply chain security. It provides the manufacturer and the governance layer that helps the other regulation works in place. Finally, the digital omnibus play a very practical role. It tries to reduce the function between this regulation, especially when it comes to reporting. Its message is simple. Organization should not report the same incident 5 times in 5 different ways. Authorities should cooperate, and information should flow in a structured and secure way. From my point of view, this slide sends one very important message. Compliance is not longer about ticking boxes for individual regulations. It's about building a single integrated approach to cybersecurity. If an organization has strong governance, clear risk management, good incidents handling, and reliable evidence, it's already halfway compliant with all of this regulation at the same time. If, on the other hand, an organization tries to treat each regulation as a separate project, it will quickly become overlapped. So when you look at this slide, I encourage you to see many different laws, see one system with different entry points. This means that makes compliance more realistic, more sustainable, and much less stressful. So what should organization actually do? First, understand your role. Are you a manufacturer, a service provider, an operator, or a supplier? Second, understand your products and services. What is their core functionality? Where do they fit in the regulatory landscape? Then work step by step, update governance, align reporting, review supply chain. Do not try to do everything at once. This is how stress is created. Yes, the number of regulation is large. Yes, the landscape is complex, but complexity does not mean impossibility. With knowledge, structure, and guidance, this regulatory labyrinth can be navigated. We are now at the end of this first part of workshop. In the next part, we will move together with my colleague Yasen Tanev from understanding to practice. The workshop will continue with walkthrough on the OSCAR platform, which is designed to help organizations assess their level of compliance with the Cyber Resilience Act. Yasen, do you hear me?
I was trying. Should I join?
The floor is yours.
Thank you, Miroslav. When we were talking about document management, I was thinking to say, okay, now you're going to have a simple course on how to use the Windows Explorer, then how to use the drives, and probably a notepad, because to write all these things you need a simple tools. Even because you don't want to be discriminative, probably we can say you can use a white paper and pen to create your documentation. If it's well done, the auditor is not going to punish you, because there are requirements. But it's getting complex when it's the first time that you're doing the things. And more or less the job that we would like to do, we would like to relate it in the context of making the things more easy, more simple, and more integratable. So we, as a 𝗪ǒ team, we had a platform, and this platform makes sense to be showed. And what I'm going to try to present you, and my intention is going to be, let's say, to show you assisted compliance. Then the concept of the assisted compliance is that you can do it any other way, but if you decide to go through the platform, then probably it's going to be simple for you, because when the new features are coming, you can get them directly in. When the vulnerabilities are jumping, you can do it. When the tasks are happening, you can make it. And in the end, there is a question. Miro, can I ask you to? Okay. Yeah, it was from Christian. Okay, so I'm going to share now my screen, and I'm going to tell you how I'm
Is there
seeing...
some noise coming from me? Sorry, Yasen, I didn't catch it.
No, I saw that you were writing into
Yes.
the chat, because I saw that there is a chat.
Yes.
So why to make it complex when you make it simple? And this is why I'm going to share my screen. And I would like to have a visual confirmation from you that you have it. Did you see me? The shared screen, the share screen.
Yes.
Okay.
And for just to Yasen, to mention something from technical point of view, with Zoom webinars, there were some questions. If depending on the size and the frames of your screen monitor, you may need to zoom out or zoom in the screen so you see better. If you see just a small fraction of Yasen's screen, just zoom out, or vice versa.
Yeah, I'm projecting my wall projector, so I don't know, can you get the size? Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah, so we're going to make it simple. And when I say simple, when it's about documentation, don't need to make it fancy. You need to make it work. So sooner or later, we are going to reach to the moment that you're going to receive the access to the platform, because you're part of the project. We have it already. And when you log into the screen, you're going to recognize that this is the platform. Please verify that you're not using a fake platform or some kind of replica of ours. We're going to have a certificate so you can recognize that this is we. But the idea that if you're starting your road to the documentation, you should first understand, did you need to be documented at all? Are you in the scope? Then if you're in the scope, how you're going to organize and manage the things. And then probably you should try to evaluate your products. And when you evaluate your products, then you can go forward. So this is the first and the most important thing. Before you do something complex, be sure that you're in the scope and you understand what's going on. So how we're doing the registration, this is the place. You can register by create a free account, and then you can log in. But even before you get in, you can do the applicability check, because I know, and also everybody knows, that you hate these platforms that somebody say, give me your username and password, enter your phone number, tell me where you live and what you're doing, how much money you get, and then when you get to the end, you see that this is not for you. So this is why we put the applicability check before, and we think that this is true and trust. So when you get there, you do the confirmation. Then when you log in for the first time, you're getting to this window of and logic of the system. So the question is, if you're considering the topic, documenting the scope of the organization, you should generally ask what I am, what is my role, what is my personal purpose here in this CRA thing. And when you get in, there were a couple of things that you should enter, which is the first thing of definition the scope of the organization. Am I right, Miroslav? You can certify a person, but you can certify also organization, which is the basic thing of the scope. Yes. So if you're a natural person, you're going on the natural person topic. So you're filling what is your organization role. Then there are different roles again related to the CRA. Then it's good to create a team. If you're a team member, then address, contact information. If you're a company, then another thing should be done, because this information is going to come after that to reports and to compliance and other documents which can be generated from the platform in her final end. Is there something missing? Yes, we for now didn't put the option that you are artificial intelligence or you having a synthetic identity. So it's still now it's made for humans. So if you're not a human, please do not fill this form. Then when you're ready with internal identification of yourself, I can say you can write it also on paper. So if you're classical person, open Word, copy the fields, fill them, or Excel. If you want to write it by hand, it's possible, but here with Oskar, we want to make this happen and unified. Then what kind of organization we have? We have the manufacturer, distributors, importers, and data stewards. So who is the manufacturer? This is the guy that made the product, organization. Then if you're a distributor, then you're reselling the product. And when we are calling domestics, I mean, we are Europeans. So when you sell in Europe, you're domestic in Europe. So we are very happy about this to say that we are part of the EU. And then you're the importer, you're bringing it cross-border. So somebody is doing it outside of the EU, and then you're doing it domestically, and you're bringing this product here. So these are the three main roles that you can see into the CRA, but our colleagues which were doing the assessment and documentation, they say, okay, let's be totally honest and transparent. They're going to be these guys which are going to do the job for somebody. Like you are having in the GDPR, somebody who represents the data, somebody who operates with it. So it's going to be the reality. Not everyone is going to be able to do things by itself. So we created this data steward, which is the person who is doing something on behalf of somebody else. We believe it's a smart move. So consultants, this is a reason to join and to be users and followers of the CRA Oskar project, because we know that it's not only for the guys who are doing the manufacturing, distribution, and importing, but also for the consultants which are going to support this process. If there are any questions, please ask Christian and Miro. If you see somebody asking, just stop me, because I'm not monitoring now the chat window.
Okay.
A little bit more extensive description. Why we're using these extended descriptions? Because we know that these presentations and videos are going to stay, and they're going to be findable on the project website. There was a question, are they findable? Yes. All the previous trainings which are going to be, let's say, set, if somebody missed, he can catch them up by using the website of the project and also get the presentation. So you can catch up. It's still time to get aware about what we were talking before. Then when you're having the team is good, because always when you're doing the certification, if you want to do the compliance, if you want to mix and match the operation, again, something that the guys with the experience in the auditing and consulting, they say they should be responsibility. Because not always everybody's attached to specific products, and these people are taking care about their products and their purpose. So when you have the team, this is the first level of documentation. Even if we are referring to documentation of the standards and the best and good practices, this is after the approval and the support from the leader of organization, we can say that we have the roles and responsibilities, and each role and responsibility is related to the context of the organization. So moving forward, you're on ground zero. Here, clearly on the right side, I don't know, can you see, where is this marker, the laser point? Did you see this thing here? You're on zero, so every project starts from zero. If you start from more than zero, then you make a mistake on the logic of the platform. And this is the initial state. So no products, no software bill of materials, no scans, no vulnerabilities, nothing, just the beginning. So this is, if we are putting it again as a reference to documentation and to the process of a standard approach on the ISO standards, then I can say that this is the beginning of the planning. And the beginning of the planning is coming with what we need to do further, but also then it's coming the operations, which means what we deliver. And then when you're having the improvement, this is again related to this standard logic of doing a good cybersecurity project. So in the beginning, this is what we have. This is your account. This is the opportunities that we're going to discuss. No, not all of them together, only the first part of it. And moving forward, so the first thing that you should do is that you should go to the products, because there is no CRA without the product. If there are other reading, please let somebody help me adjust myself. But going to products, and when you click on the product, then you're moving to the next logic of our self-documented platform. As I say, you can do all this by yourself using the writing tool, a storage, and file organizer. But we are doing this way because we believe this is going to be helpful. And how we would like to add a new product? Miro, if you were on this spot, how you are going to start? I believe you're going to start from scratch, am I right? Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, I want to have some interaction, please. Yeah, let's make it interactive.
Okay.
Anybody from the audience, if there is a question, if you want to ask something,
I
just
promise
talk
to
me.
make a Slido next time. Promise to make a Slido, and there is one particular question, Yasin, now that you gave the floor, just to mention. The question is, I have joined just now. Can you please tell me from where I can get link of this dashboard? I will answer to this anonymous attendee. The link to what we are currently viewing is going to be publicly available in February. So our 𝗪ន់platform, providing tools for compliance enablement when it comes to the Cyber Resilience Act, free tools, open source tools, is as of January 28 not available. But in 10 days time, let's say in the first half of February, it would be launched in beta version. When launched, basically the cloud instance of our tools will be available for you to register and leverage. And also it would be available in GitHub for you to download and maybe install the platform yourself and work internally in your internal corporate ecosystem. So today we don't have a link for the delayed attendee that is requesting such. But very soon, today we're starting with just demonstrating some basic capabilities that you need to be aware of in order to basically log in and start leveraging the more advanced functionalities, for which we're going to dedicate our next 3 workshops every month. We'll have one. We will announce the dates of the upcoming workshops at the end of the session. Quite extensive answer. I hope it has been of use.
Yeah, I would like to say all the functional screenshots are from the internal testing platform.
Exactly.
So it's not fake, it's not AI generated. But when we're talking about documenting, I was thinking that we should give the idea of structured documentation through the system, which then can be really used in manual and quantitative form.
Perfect. Yes.
So generally, when you start from nothing, you're starting from scratch. And here is the explanation. What it means from scratch? It means that you're passing a survey. Then the survey understands what type of product you're having. Are you even having the requirements to get the compliance for your product? If yes, then it's going to enter the product. Sometimes you are working, but then you have a family call and you need to drop the things and go out and do the real life urgency procedures. Then you can come back and you can do from the scratch. So it means that all the answer you're giving, and when you pass, if you can, so then you can go back, or you can create multiple projects by the cache. This is a good example, so we're not losing any effort. And when you have a ready product, if you have a sequence or similarity of the products, you can import them. So on the left side here, we are having the menu. Here is a small explanation, and when you press the add product, it's going to start. Big job done from the consortium partners. It's not an easy job to have pages which are 100, and I can say more even if you want to get all the relations of the cyber resilience act concepts of reading, because you're going to see some European regulation which even they one by one can kill your brain if you're a reader. But then the idea that we can get it to 17 questions, and some of the questions can lead you to a success and positive emotion if your product says that you're out of the scope. I know that everybody wants to try to get out of the scope if possible, but it's very important to be honest answering this question. And if you're in the scope, to know it, because the market is not going to forgive you if you're out of the scope and selling a product which you believe it's out of the scope. We saw it with DORA, we saw it with NIS2. It's not work like this. This is a regulation which is applicable for everybody on the European market. So the first question, how it's going to be structured, here is the question, here is the reference from which section of the CRA. So if you're not a believer, but you're a reader, you can click on them and you can see where it's going to lead you. And the question is it commercially supplied product, yes or no? Okay, we're going to be more refined on the questions. You can go and you can read the CRA Act and understand what means commercially or not commercially. But simply, this device, you make it for yourself. Is it not a public, but more like exclusive solution? And it's kind of compensation thing. So it's not sellable. It's for internal or private use only. So if it's no, then you can click no. But if it's yes, what it means that you're selling this product, there is a license, probably also there is subscription. It's working on the EU market. There is generating revenue directly or indirectly. So read it carefully. But this is a simple explanation, and because it's decision tree, you can answer yes or no. So if you're answering no to this question, then we're coming to the second question, which is giving you a more details. It's required more details. So if you answer yes, it's going to jump into number 3 question. But if you answer no, then it's going to bring you to question number 2. And this is this product made available only for limited period, required for testing purposes? Yes or no? If you answer yes, so be honest when you're answering. I know that some testing products are staying forever and become commercially popular. but be honest. If you answer yes, then you're getting the green check mark. So you're failed to qualify for the CRA, so you do not have the obligation. I don't know, are you happy or not? But this is the truth. So this is the first exit line. If you answered no to the, if you answered yes to the first question, then you're moving to question number 3. And then you're coming to question number 3. Was the product with digital elements developed as a spare part to replace an identical component on the market? Yes or no? It's yes, the product is spare to replacement part, it's identical component, or it's a great component, it's a new product. Check what you're asking. If you're asking yes, which means it's to existing product, it's not a new product, then you're opting out. If you're answering no, then you're having the question number 4. Is it a new solution or it's a modification? Okay, yes or no, there is a question on the topic, because the topic is how much, what define a new solution, because it's just a date or small changes, it's not counted as a new product. So if you answer yes, then you're moving to question number 5. In the question number 5, it really asks you to be honest, because here you can be flexible. You're not saying cheating, but interpretation are capable. So the next question, is it substantial modification? And if it's a substantial, if it's a software, usually you're billing for it. If it's a hardware, it means this is something new, we change the functionality and behavior. So you can assume that you can answer no to this. It means that it's nothing new, it's a out product, it's just some small modification, then you're out. If yes, then you're moving to question number 6. And this question is also a gateway to going forward or to the exit. I'm still reminding you that if you want something more, you can read here on the topic, the statement, then you can go to the CRA 1.6 from the CRA, and then you can go here. The product does not contain digital element. The producer should be very, very careful on this answer, because the digital components could be hidden somewhere. So this is why it's good to know your product. You're receiving a toy for the kids, and then somewhere in the middle, there is a microphone, small battery, and location tracking. This is really risky. So if you answer no, then I believe that you can understand what is it. You're going to opt out. If you answer with one of the other topic, that it's a product software solution, which is part of electronic information system, and it's a computer code, or it's a product hardware solution from a physical electronic information system, then you're getting into the next question, 7, which I thought you can read hundreds of pages, because now it's asking you the question: does the product with digital element have the nature of medical device? How do you know is it a medical device or not? Go and read the EU regulation 2017/745. It's good because if you're not sure is it a medical device or yes, you can read it. So if it's a medical device, go there. Like if it's DORA applicable, then the NIS2 is not applicable. Yes, Miro? We were reading this, that DORA is saying if you're under the DORA, then NIS2 is not for you. Am I right?
Yes, I confirm.
Yeah, so this is like this. If it's a medical, then it's medical. How to understand is my device is medical? Read these documents. If you, as I say, yes, then out of DORA, do it your job on the medical device. Then we say, is this device element of the nature for in vitro diagnostic. It's not medical, it's in vitro. Then go read 2007-746. If it's for in vitro, you're out. It's CRA not for you. Then if you say no, is the product with digital element built for vehicles, product is component for protection, safety of the vehicle, pressure monitoring, fuel efficiency, CO2, or tires? If it's yes, you are opting out of the CRA, but you're having a pleasure to read the regulation 2019-2144. Enjoy. Probably we can help you, but this is not the focus of the Oscar. If you say no, let's say if yes, opt out, automotive industry topic, go there. Question number 10. Whew. I'm getting tired from reading it. I cannot imagine what is it to feel it in reality. But if you do it on paper or just in the notepad, and what is going to be even more stressful, here you can repeat the process and then copy the product type in multiple times. So are you product parts equipment, remote control operation, airports, airport environment, or ATM, ANS? If it's yes, where are you going? Opt out. You go on the aviation standards, 2018-1139. If you say no, this is not the end. Are you related to the marine industry? If yes, opt out, not CRA, but 2014-90 UE, really old regulation that need to be read. So if you say yes, you're opt out. Okay, you always can retry because you can be curious to see what's going to happen if I click here. So you can go again from the beginning, no worries. We are not kicking you out of the system. We are not deleting your information if one of your products is reaching to this point. Christian, there is probably a question. Okay.
There is, yes, there is.
Yeah.
I would be answering it. Sorry, I'll be reading it to your attention. Just a second, because for some reason I see an open question, but then again I have maybe it's open because I spoke the answer but did not write it down. Yes.
Okay.
Technically, there is none. There is one answered, Yasin. You answered, but you did not share with the audience. So let me just say about the existence of this question. So the question is, would the presentation and the recording be shared afterwards? And the answer is yes. I will actually, for those of you who cannot stay until the end, share a link to our Google Drive repository in the chat, in case you cannot wait for the end for some reason, or you drop off. But pay attention, when you go there, you will not be able to see apparently the recording and the presentations from today's session. They will be uploaded at latest tonight or tomorrow morning. So make sure to go back and check what we have added after the end of today's session. Thank you, Yasin. The floor is yours. I will close the previous comment, which we already answered, so it does not mislead us.
Okay. Then, question 12. Are you working for the national security and defense, or you're processing classified information? This probably can be a commercial product. It can be with the digital element. It can be a software or hardware component. And it's doing computation. If you're working for defense, for the national security, or processing specially qualified classified information, that you're not under the CRA. You know, because there is a lot of things that you should share. the bill of materials, the reporting of incidents. This is made for the consumer devices out of the scope, as you see. Automotive, medical, in vitro, national security, defense, marine. So if you're in these industries, there are different requirements. If your product is with a dual use, it's an interesting question, I believe, Christian. So how it should be managed? Probably you should not tell to one and to the other industry that it's a dual use. So it's a good question to ask the products with dual use, how they're treated. And this is the good thing of this workshop, that the experts are getting together and they're talking. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. We are working together, but we are here to share with you.
The expert on dual-use technologies is Associate Professor 𝗪cie𝗿𝗀𝗪 from the team of 𝗪cie𝗿, and I'll make sure to route the question to his attention. Of course, I have my opinion and a clear statement around it, but I will keep it for the end of the section. And what is important for you right now, in the context of this basically demo of the key tool that you start your journey on 𝗪� with, which is the survey, it's important that the tool is solving these questions for you. So we don't have AI. This is
it's a human logic, hard-coded behind it.
It's the first time you hear this in 2026, and maybe the last time when you attend a demo or a pitch of a technology and you hear, we do not have artificial intelligence embedded in it. This is purely human intelligence. We follow the regulations, the implementing acts, and the related, of course, that bring clarity to the Sierra implementation. And we fine-tune this survey. We even have a few iterations already. So by February, we may have a next iteration. But the important thing is that we have made sure that the legislation, despite this not finalized and it will never be finalized, is basically behind this survey. So whatever you respond in this particular aspect, you can be sure that you would be routed to the right approach, whether towards self-assessment or assessment through a conformity assessment body, or you would know that you are not landing under this, your products, or you as a company or as an individual do not land under this regulation.
We're going to say made by a human, Christian, yes?
Yes, exactly.
Your assessment is made by a fixed logic by humans. The truth, I tested yesterday with an AI agent when I dropped the content of a product. You're going to see that I have it in the list. But I also ask it, this is my product, this is my purpose, this is my usage. Can you try to fill it with the AI agent the questions? It was going well, except the question number 13. I don't know, it was the magical number that was making mistaken. And then I start to read this question very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, the question number 13, which make my AI agent hesitate and asking me more questions. Is there this kind of feeling of pressure? So, even the slides are not changing. Okay, if you answer to question 12, yes, then you're out. And then we're coming to question number 13. Miro, Christian, I'm challenging you. I'm challenging everybody here. The question is, does this product include software or hardware that perform data processing or computation? If you reach so far here, we are assuming that it has a digital components and that it's a software or hardware which is a part of the solution, and it's impossible to reach here without the product to include software or hardware that perform processing or computing. And it's very interesting if you get in the wording. because I mean, this is the issue of the AI. Sometimes the AI is thinking very deep. So there are some cases that exist where the computation and data processing is in the really lower fabrics of the equipment, which is more like mechanical activities replaced by computational behaviors, which my mind never get there. But we are going to precise probably this question, but here you should consider visible and high-level computational activities, not these low-level neurological reactions on the electron and simple components. Yeah, so it's really question that messed my model. So the question here is, if the product yes, it includes the software, firmware, and actively processing data. So this is actively is, I believe, the core topic. It makes the logical decision, and there is a control logic. So this is what the author was thinking to put it. So this is why I put such a big explanation about what we are meaning with the yes. It also execute codes which change the behavior and output, and it's a part of the functionality process. If it's a just reaction, it's like this low-level sensors, it's not. So you can answer no. And this is the example of the yes. So this is why it's interesting when we're human testing the solution in the system, and then give the chance to AI to test it on our own. So the synthetic identity was here. And we can say made by human, tested by AI, not only. So it's an interesting question. Read it carefully. Go forward. If you didn't answer no, then you're jumping to question 17. But if you answer yes, then you're getting more details about what it performs. So is it include? Oh, this is the same question. I have it twice, huh? Oh. So it go to okay. Going to question, if question 13 is no, then you're going to question 14. If we answer yes, then you're going to question 17. What is the question 17? You're going to get it when I get to the page of the question 17. And here it's asked, does the product contain embedded software and firmware? So all these sublines that we're getting, we're trying to verify to understand where is our product, yes or no. Again, if you need to read something more, Annex 3, Part 1, point 19. This is, if you want, you can use also our simple guidelines, which you're going to improve in the future. Then, if you answer no, then you're going to the next slide. If you answer yes, you're going to the question 17, which is the exit questionnaire. We're going to see what is it. Then it's asked, can the product be connected to the internet or any other device via wired or wireless connection, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, USB? Why? Because we are trying to understand this simple components which are doing the separation of the criticality row and necessary assessment tasks to be done. And again, think from where we start the documentation. If you want to document something, you should understand where it's fitting, what is necessary, how to go forward, what to be done. So again, number 14, then we're having the number 15. Then when you answer the number 15, if you answer no, then you're getting to question 16. If you answer yes, then you're going to the end. And does the product require cloud service or remote data processing to perform one of its functions? It's good. I think you should go to seminar number 2. It was number 1, Miro. I cannot remember, but there was a special topic when we were discussing if a cloud provider or remote computation infrastructure is embedded in the CRA, you're also part of the story. So go to your cloud service providers. If you answer yes to this question, so if you answer to yes or no, no matter what you're doing, then you're going to question number 17. And question number 17 is asking you which is the category of the product. So you need to categorize your device. It's falling down a drop down. So read carefully and properly define it. Where you can find it's Annex 3, Annex 4 categories as listed in the drop down. This is how they're appearing in the drop down. I mean, if it was subtitles, you can say the categories listed in order of appearance. So we have the hardware devices, we have our smart meter gateways, a small description under it. More and more we're going to get toward more and more precise. This is written in Annex 3 and Annex 4. Then you have the containers, then you have the firewalls, intrusion detection and prevention system. They have a special things to be done with them. Tamper-resistant microprocessor, tamper-resistant microcontrollers. I believe you understand that the difference between the processors and the controllers. The microprocessor is the chip, the controller is the chip and some surroundings. That can be very simplified. The identity management system, standalone embedded browser, password managers. Miro was talking about the password managers. What is the password software that searches for removes or quarantines malicious software, network management system, security information, event management, boot managers, public key infrastructure, physical operating system, routers, microcontrollers, application-specific integrated circuits. This is the chips that you can pre-program. Smart homes, my favorite. Robot cleaners, the bad guy at home. And smart home products. So yeah, the robot is not only a smart home general purpose assistant because you can talk to him, but it also can clean. So smart home work, security camera, BAME within alarm systems, internet connected toys, personal wearable products. Fast because of advertising, but we are attached to everything. Even the headphones probably that I'm wearing, or some of you, they can be counted to wearables because you're not hearing through them. They're also measuring health monitoring and body status. So when you get through all this, you're passing the process of shaping your CRA status for your product. You can use our platform just to learn good practices. You can use our product to fill your documentation and work with it. Or you can use it on a way that is going to help you. We are just sharing it by open source and it's going to be available soon. It's a not static product. It's going to be better and better with the time. And as more you use it, as more we communicate, it's going to be good. All listed categories are in the CRA, on the question number 17. The last topic, we are discussing it, can you opt out in the end? But generally, you don't have currently the option, none of them, because if you reach to the question number 17, anyway, you should be one of these categories. So when you're ready, it's time to register your product. Give it a name, give it an acronym, put the version, make a short description. All these things need to be a part of your documentation. When you're done, as we say, you can do from scratch and fill your product, or you can go from the cache, which is going to open the stored but not used information. You can create your new product. Or you can import from the existing product. It's the same logic here. And I'm going to give you the idea. In the end, I created my product. So my product, I even created a picture for it. It's called Stardust. So we are producing a fine Stardust using the black matter. And it has electronic components to do this. So in the product description, version 1.0, you see I have, we consume dark matter to produce fine Stardust. output material based on our local computing power and network connectivity consume elastic resources from the cloud. Perfect product description. Then, when I press create, I'm having my product. Is it documented? Think yes. Yes, because you're documenting. We're having our product. We have the category here. We have the application software, which is the role. Then we don't have any incident, we don't have vulnerability, we don't have any reports, the status not assessed because I didn't do the assessment. So it's at the beginning of the journey, but without the product and product classification, you don't have a route and road into the CRA. If I click the show more, I have active, so it's an active product, it's still in production, but if I click more, show more, it opens the extended cart of the item. So I can see more things. I can press view, so I can see what was my answer. I can press edit and retake, so it means that I can do the reassessment because I forgot something, and I can do it. Then I can add new version because probably I make some significant changes which are changing the product behavior. And I have also the history of it. So you can see the CRA survey, it's still there. You can have it. It's a documented product assessment. Then you can see the dashboard. If you have more products, you can see them here. It's a product Stardust, the version. You can see the evaluation status. You can see the conformity status breakdown. You can continue with assessment because based on your product, you're going to need to bring, add, attach, and verify certain circumstances. And then here on the bottom, I'm just taking your interest. You can continue with the documentation and building the portfolio for your item. So here you can attach files, which is documentation, then bill of materials. You can do scans, vulnerabilities, incident, tasks, version of repository. I'm going to show you some screens which are going to bring your attention to the next time. So you can do the compliance assessments. And based to the product and category, you have two product compliance. You have product compliance, which is having 4 requirements. And then you have 2 requirements which are related to the procedures. What is it? What it means? Don't miss the next show, when you're going to get more CRA ready and you're going to do the documentation. More is going to be documented. SBOM, which is software bill of materials, scans vulnerabilities and tasks. This is continue the logic of continuous compliance and assessment. Conformity and compliance is a must, so do it. Reporting is combining everything that you're doing. And we're not going to produce your products. If you're a producer, we are giving you a way for structured documentary approach guided by the expertise of the consortium. If you are a distributor, be sure that you're supporting your manufacturer or do it by yourself, so you're secure on distributing the item. If you're an importer, then be ready to sell in the European Union. And if you're a consultant, then this platform in the cloud or as a service or on-premise is your way to keep the unified process with your customers. So there is a place for everybody, and this is what I'm calling the community and the community spirit. We're having all necessary to be done. So I plan to stop here. Probably we can have a small questions and answers. The defense topic was open with the dual use, so I'm not forgetting, and the question number 13 is interesting.
And there's one more question around number 13, by the way. Yasen. The question is from Catherine, and she mentioned it exactly on number 13. Can you please give some examples of products that would become not applicable there? So basically, this is her question.
Catherine.
Yes. What is not applicable?
I have a question for you. When you get to question number 13, you are already applicable.
Yeah. I mean,
if you hit, if you hit question number 13, then you cannot get out.
Now, Catherine.
So we just probably need to rephrase the question.
Not really. I will tell you the secret. There is a potential loophole, and do be aware that we as experts, because I'm a I did not present myself, so you don't know who are you speaking with. My name is Hein.
I know also where are you living.
You know, yes, the audience doesn't. And the people that will see the recording, I'm a chairman of the Digital Innovation Hub Trakia, and Digital Innovation Hub Trakia is a partner within the 𝗪ci consortium. We are doing exactly what we are doing right now, the training and the basically dissemination of knowledge beyond the core user group of our platform. So I thought about presenting myself because I was about to say that we are not speaking on behalf of the European Commission, despite the fact that the project is funded by the European Commission. But this disclaimer at this particular point in the workshop is very useful, because I'm about to say something that's a personal opinion of mine, but it would explain you why this question is there. When the Cyber Resilience Act was crafted, there were concerns that there would be a loophole, given the fact that it says that purely standalone software as a service is treated out of the scope of the CRA. So basically, the concern was that, of course, it's normal. It's an act that basically demands for high cybersecurity measures and resilience measures associated to products, not to services in particular. We have them covered by the existing legislation. But there was a risk that basically all products in a certain way will more or less start to be considered or philosophically be interpreted as a software as a service solutions rather than digital products. So there was this important mentioning due to this, and not only these concerns within the legislation, that those software as a service solutions who are not provided purely as part of a service, and they are more or less doing the remote data processing part of a software or a hardware product, are in the scope. So what is the intention of this product is, if someone is trying to find a loophole to not get under the requirements to get out of or outside of the scope of the CRA, to know very well, to be alerted, to be consulted, to be advised, whatever you want to use, which word is fine, that if his software as a service is doing exactly what is asked in number 13, remote data processing as part of a certain product capability, then it's in the scope of the legislation. This is I wouldn't like to go further into this, I would say, context, but yes, there is a point for this question to be there, to reassure people who might think, oh, I'm just having this software as a service, so I'm not obliged to follow to follow this particular piece of legislation, to be alerted that in this case, which is the general case, you need to follow the best practices that CRA basically provides us. It doesn't create anything new. It sort of formulates, orchestrates existing best practices that we are very well aware through the years of experience, through different certifications that we have passed, we as people doing software or hardware throughout the years. So CRA orchestrates them for us, presents them for us, and we can self-assess or need to go through a compliance assessment for products with digital components. But in the case that we're not speaking about a pure standalone software as a service, also in this particular case, when it does a remote data processing for our product. You may or may not have understood why I just said in the last few minutes, but it's important to know that this particular reason to close existing loopholes is the way that this question is crafted, and it's embedded into the legislation itself. This is something that we have pulled out of the CRA, and we have put it into the questionnaire for this particular reassurance, I would say, reason. And Yasin, you can take it from there. Thank you for the opportunity to confuse the audience.
It was not confusing, but as I say, Catherine, there is no exit. If you reach question number 13, you is always going to be in. The question is how. So no stress, as I like to say it. It's really doing well, and I like the tool. My first hands-on even opened for me more dreams and desire from the community-driven point of view. So this means community open source. When we are ready, please feel free to give us the feedbacks. We're going to show you more how to use the tool on a practical approach. And I promise in the next training, I'm going to include the AI on some topics, like the specification of my Stardust machine. It's already there. Yeah. So Miro, we have a couple more minutes, I suppose. So do you want to do the pre-magic closing and then go back to Christian to say, we are closing, this is the next dates, don't miss us, tell to your friends.
Maybe Miro can also actually share what we're going to cover in the upcoming. Sorry, another messenger popped in. Maybe Miro, you can, apart from what you have already decided to share, also say a few words about the upcoming sessions. What I'm going to close today's workshop with is actually the information that I shared, that I will present at the end as awareness regarding the open funding opportunity for the SMEs attending the call. This opportunity actually kicks in exactly today, January 28th. So everyone attending today would have enough time to prepare something useful to acquire the funding needed to prepare their products with digital elements ready for CRA compliance. But Miro, I'll be happy to hear what you have right now to share with us as well.
Okay. Next workshop will be focused on the incident response, planning management in general. This is will include proper incident management, traceability for incident, and all questions about incidents traceability. This will be in the next session. And we will talk about OSCAR platform, how we manage incidents by this platform.
Thank you, Miro. I'm just double checking the dates, the dates that we are going to run the next sessions. They are as follows. Please bear with me. I need to load the registration form. In case you have registered only for today's session, you can always go back to I'm just sharing it right now in maybe in the Q&A, because it will be visible by anyone. Or no, I will share over here in the chat of the webinar. So we are going to meet on February 23rd. The time would be the same. On March 30th and on April 27th. They're always Fridays. Sorry, Mondays. Sorry.
Monday.
Yes, in some cases they are, in some cases they're not. Today we're not Monday, neither Friday, but the sessions to come are in Mondays at the end of the next few months. We have prepared them in such a I would say schedule, because we are looking into reflecting on the latest developments throughout the month. So the point is that we expect some developments around the implementing legislation in the first half of February, which we would be sharing more at the end of February, when we have on February 23rd the next session. This is one thing that I have to share with you. The other thing, of course, as promised, is the link to the repository, despite the fact that you will receive it as a follow-up pre-set email that you would get tomorrow in your email boxes. I will share this. But while I'm looking for, actually, Miro, you can help me by sharing the link. I don't want to distract the audience. While Miro is checking the repository link, what I'm going to do is to share my screen once final time for today, and show you what I try to mark it very precisely, very closely. Of course, I did market the 𝗪ᵗ LinkedIn page, and I did mention about the registration page, but if you're here today, apparently you have passed through it. I wanted to promote you this particular project from Cyberstand, from the cluster of, I would say, sister or twin projects. And in particular, beyond promoting the cluster, one important project stands out right now. Here it is, the link to the cluster, which is over here. It's the secure strengthening. This is again abbreviation for strengthening EU SME cyber resilience. And you can see on their webpage, when you visit the clusters page, that as of January 28th, they have announced their first cascade funding procedure. It would be active until March 29th. So if you, throughout the next 2 months, prepare a very light, I would say, application form, when you present, where you present your product, and the needs related to strengthening its resilience, going through the provision of different services, assessments, measures to strengthen its security, you would be able to have, I would say, a modest but sufficient in terms of path to conformity grant, up to 30,000 euro. It is a 50% grant, which means it requires your co-funding. If you request a grant of 30,000 to leverage for strengthening the resilience of your product in advance to its self-assessment or conformity assessment against the CRA, then if you request 30,000, you need to invest 30 more. And the operation is open for micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises from across Europe, which need to comply with the CRA. They can be, it's important, not necessarily the people behind the products, as we mentioned numerous times. The requirements are open or are actually facing the manufacturers themselves, of course, but also importers, distributors of products with components in the EU market. And it's important to know that if you are an open source software steward, again, you can benefit from this funding. Open source projects are a tricky question. If they are purely non-commercial, voluntary, of course, there is an exclusion for such cases. But if you are doing business by selling different products or actually services around your open source product, then you get into or under the CRA, I would say, stewardship for what you're building. So as a steward of an open source product, under the stewardship of the CRA compliance framework, you can indeed benefit from additional funding, as well as if you fall into the other well-justified categories in only the CRA. So the open call is active as of today. You can have a closer view about it in the FAQ section. If you have certain questions, they can be responded quickly through it. If not, this again is a sister project or a twin project. Make sure to reach out to our colleagues from info@secure4sme.eu. And you would receive a quick prompt reply to your questions. So yeah, check out this opportunity. How this project relates to ours? Well, easy. When you use our tools for compliance enablement of your products, you may, at the end of the day, do it yourself or with the help of a consultant. So if you use a consultant to help you through this journey, of course, that you may need to pay this consultant. So such, I would say, use cases, when you seek support of a technical or compliance consultant, doesn't matter if you use the OSCAR platform or not, you can cover such expenses through such a grant that is being provided by Secure. This is the first of a few cascade calls, so make sure to have a look and follow the upcoming ones. And now the final thing, the link to our repository. If Miro can kindly help me with getting it from our previous communication. If not, I will provide in just a second, as I need to basically switch through my profiles. Here it is, coming fresh from the oven, as they say. We have the following link now shared in the webinar chat. So if you load this into your browser, and I will do so right now, what you're going to see is the following. You're going to see three sub categories, folders. You have the presentations from the first 4 trainings that were held with the participation of Mirosław Mitev, Jacen Tanev, Sasha Bonch, of our trainers, and expert lead auditors with numerous years of practice on the market. Then we have a few documents associated to the regulation itself, because it was already under a certain change of scope around the exclusion of health tech products. So we have this also included. And finally, we have some useful resources. They are not official. They are resources that we are disseminating, not official as not official part of the legislative or the implementing process. But for example, we have uploaded here useful tools coming from our sister projects. For example, we have a great guide that is a guide towards compliance for SMEs by the conformity project, which we have already organized at least 2 information sessions together with our colleagues from conformity. We have some useful, nice presentations from the European Cybersecurity Organization, as we are, the Digital Innovation Hub Trakia, through the Union for Private Economic Enterprise in Bulgaria, are members of the European Cybersecurity Organization. This is very useful if you want to systematically go, maybe it's your first time getting to know around the CRA. It's a good go-to resource. We have some resources around SBOM. As you know, this was a big focus of 𝗪• over the last few months, promoting the concept itself, as there was quite a big misunderstanding of what actually SBOM is. And finally, you would see a link to a document where the different previous video recordings are shared. So they would be also available on our oscrad.eu website, but until you can see them there, you can check them always on YouTube. So tomorrow you would, in the presentation folder, see a new one with today's materials. We would be happy to also be kind enough to fill in the survey that you would receive in the follow-up email, along with the link to this Google Drive repository. We would be happy to know your opinion about today's session so that we can improve the one at the end of next month. Miro, Yasen, if I'm forgetting something important, please tell it now so that we are able to fix this. If not, we
The
can...
good thing is that you didn't say stay silent forever.
Yeah. At least silent at least until next month's workshop.
I would like to call everybody to visit the OSCAR project website. And your opinion means a lot to us. So there is a survey form, again, which survey form is giving a chance to tell us about you, your product, your needs, your desires. More we have, more we can do for you. And we know that this site is going to be overloaded and stressed when the CRA comes in the last month or weeks, but use your privilege that you're here, share with your friends, come to the site and look and fill the surveys, read what's going on. There is a news section where more and more news are going to come. If you are interested on working with us, you can find us and communicate. So this is what I'm calling for. Use the funds and experience to speed up. This may be a difference on this changing market. Not everybody is going to be able to sell in Europe soon. So if you're local, then use the advantage. If you're cross-border, think in advance. If you're a consultant, probably and loudly say, I'm here to help you. This is what I would like to say. And then we can probably close today's event. So Christian, feel free to shut it down.
Sure, happily. By the way, I sent a structured response to Catherine on the question 13 feedback that she provided, or question related to this particular question in the OSCAR platform. Yasen, I'm right now sharing the survey that you recommended. You asked our audience to fill in. Just to avoid confusion, this survey help us further fine-tune the platform. So if you think right now without having access to the platform it doesn't make sense to fill it in, make sense, then go back in 2 weeks' time when you check, when you see a notification on our LinkedIn page that our beta version is live. Make a registration for your product, for your company, and then register your product. Go through it, and then maybe in 2 weeks' time, go through the survey and say, hey, something can be improved. Because at the end of the day, it's a community effort. It's an open source effort. Maybe we would have some features lagging behind your expectations, but your feedback will help us improve. And if we cannot improve, the feedback would be useful to some volunteer who would put the hours to build it better, to build on top of what we have opened as an initiative. But this survey the very important and final thing I'm going to share today. It's not the survey we dedicated today's session. So the survey that you saw that Yasen demonstrated.
No, this is for fine-tuning.
This is general feedback. Yes, I believe nobody would be in such a confusion. But if still someone has been sleeping over today's session,
come on, I never tell this to presenter of my type here.
And now gets to the survey question. I don't want to have the confusion. This is for your feedback on what you would like to see in the tools, in the process, and how we can improve it further. And the survey that Yasen demonstrated is basically one of the first tools that will meet you on our platform and will guide you through the self-assessment of your product, so you know where it lands and how it is affected by the Cyber Resilience Act. This is the main, I would say, message from today. And with that, we can wrap up the session. Thank everyone for their participation. Share the message that we would be here for a few more months. And see you next month. See you next month on February 23rd. Have a nice day ahead.
Thank you.